Hey everybody, again Scott Franklin here. If you're on this tutorial, then you've already been through class and you're a member on the site, and welcome back. I hope everything is going well for you. And what these tutorials are meant to do is give us a little recap on some of the key points that we learned in class that will help you hopefully propel through whatever issues that you're going through. And we'll keep adding these as issues come up and I get feedback from the students and some of the deals that we're working through together, and hopefully we can create a full library to help you guys out as much as possible. And you always have access to me through the contact section, especially on partnering deals if it's something that you want my assistance on, or my feedback or consultation. But for this particular tutorial, we're going to be covering the power of circumstance, which is really the key and the key ingredient, the nuts and bolts of the whole program for the lease options on the way that we are going to be approaching the deal. Excuse me. So let's go over that, the power of circumstance. What we look for on both sides of the spectrum are folks that need to sell their house that have a circumstance that is absolutely making them need to sell their house. It's going to inhibit them from making another payment or the next couple of payments, and they're on the brink of either losing the house or getting very close to it, and they don't want that to happen. So the power of circumstance has prompted them to give us a call to solve their problem. And some of these circumstances, and they happen every day, whether you're in Tucson, Arizona, or whether you're in Louisville, Kentucky here with me, or Tallahassee, Florida, people have the same circumstances everywhere across the country. And the same thing with the buyers that we're marketing to as well, to find these deals, to find the buyers to put into these homes where we've got a seller that has a very motivated circumstance that makes them more open for one of our creative solutions and programs to help them out. We're looking for the buyers that also have some circumstance that is not quite allowing them to qualify conventionally for a mortgage. So on the seller side, let's take a look at some of these things that are going to be our key clientele, the things that happen to our key clientele. Probably one of the biggest is loss of job. I mean, if someone loses a job and they can't afford to make their payments anymore, they're going to get behind, and they're going to be at risk of foreclosure. Now, every state and every city and every bank and lender is a little bit different, but typically after missing a 3 months of payments or 90-day cycle that you're behind, they're going to start the pre-foreclosure proceedings. And I've seen them be out within 4 or 5 months, and I've seen it take as long as a year or more, just depending on the amount of foreclosures in the area and the marketability and the resaleability of the property, and if there's any equity in it and the bank wants to get involved. So it really comes down to, it is very individualized, but the problems that a lot of folks go through when they're going through this is it scares them to death, and they don't want to have to deal with this stuff. So we look for folks who absolutely need to sell their property or have something put in place that's going to protect them from losing their property. We're not looking for someone that wants to sell their house, that just wants to get top dollar for it and say, hey Scott, will you come buy my house? They're not going to be open for our suggestions on putting someone in their property for 18 to 36 months and then cashing out at the end. These are folks that want to get out right now. But loss of job, loss of income is probably the biggest thing that I've seen motivate people to, again, be more open to suggestion for one of our programs. Someone gets divorced. They've lost, they don't want the house anymore, number one. They've got divorced and it's bitter, and you all know someone that's been divorced. I mean, I was divorced, and sometimes things get ugly. It's just not, it's not pleasant. It's very, very rare that you find an amicable divorce where, okay, you take yours, I'll take mine, let's go on about our way, and I'll take the house, you do what you have to do with it, I'll continue to make the payments and help you out. It's just uncommon that that's going to happen. So in divorce, a lot of times when it gets ugly, the husband or the wife, they'll stop making their half of the payments and leave the burden to the spouse that's going to remain in the house or have to get out of the house. A lot of times they can't carry it. They don't. The other half doesn't care about the credit being ruined. They just don't care. It's just a matter of they want to do as much spiteful damage as they possibly can, and go from there. So we're looking for folks that are maybe in this situation as well to help them out with one of our programs, put them in there, and hopefully solve that problem as well. So we've got loss of job, loss of a higher paying job, not just maybe losing the job. Maybe they got demoted or maybe downsized, and they've had to go from an executive position down to a laboring position, and the money's just not there. They've gone from six-figure income to $30,000, $40,000 a year, but they have to do what they have to do to feed their family and make sure things are taken care of. And they realize they're probably not going to be able to hold on to the house or the lifestyle that they once had, and they're searching for alternatives. Death in the family, loss of an income of one of the breadwinners. I mean, this happens every single day as well. Maybe someone inherited an unwanted property from a death in the family, and it's maybe not that marketable to sell right away, and they're looking for some alternatives to manage this property. So there are all sorts of things that would motivate someone to give us a call that happen every single day right in your neighborhood, within probably 100 yards from you every single day, and you just don't know it. So we're looking for people who are in a circumstance that is absolutely inhibiting them from making payments to keep this house going, or they've lost their job, they've lost their income, they're divorced, death in the family. Now, these are terrible things, and you have to have empathy with these people. Otherwise, they're going to see right through you, and we're definitely not trying to take advantage of anyone. We're looking to solve a problem for them and help them along the way. So on the seller side, we're looking for need versus want to sell, and motivated circumstances that are going to put them in a position where they're going to be a lot more open to our suggestions. Okay, on the buyer side, the power of circumstance is going to work the same way, to where we're going to look for folks that absolutely have to have a second chance. Maybe they've had a foreclosure. Maybe they've had a bankruptcy. Maybe they lost their job, medical bills, credit card debt spiraling out of control. These things happen every single day to people you know, and again, they just can't qualify conventionally for a mortgage, and we need to find an alternative to get them into a house. They want to be a homeowner, but it's going to be 2 or 3 years or a year, 18, 24 months down the road before they can realistically qualify for a bank loan. But they've got a little bit of money to put down. The 3 to 5% that we're going to require, we're going to match the people up that just aren't yet qualified or requalified, and we're going to pair them with the folks that have a motivation or circumstance that is absolutely demanding that they get out of that property or take over the payments on that property, or they're going to lose their credit and they're going to lose everything. So we're going to fully screen and put in a qualification program one of our future tenant buyers, match them up with one of our motivated sellers by the power of circumstance that's in their life, and we're going to get paid along the way for the expertise. So that's how the power of circumstance works. We, as the expert in the middle, find the seller, market to the buyer, collect the down payment, set the purchase price, protect our interests along the way, and we get paid in the middle, at the front, and in the end, and everybody wins. So the seller wins because they're getting their property taken care of. They're not going to miss any more payments. They're going to save their credit rating, and then they're going to cash out of their house and get and maintain some of the equity as opposed to losing it in foreclosure. The buyer's going to win because he's going to get into a property sooner than he normally would have, and he's going to cash out in the end. We're going to put him on the pathway to repairing his credit. We're going to set him up with a mortgage banker, run a full credit check, the whole gambit, and then we in the middle, because we put this together. There's 2 or 3 different income streams that if you've in the class you understood how that works. We're gonna get paid along the way. So this is my tidbit on the power of circumstance on the recap. I hope this was helpful to you. Watch it as many times as you like. If you have questions, send me an email. Go into the contact me section, and I'll be happy to get back with you as soon as I possibly can. And I hope you have a great day. See you.